I had a friend the other day ask me this, about my age, a little bit younger, and he asked me if I'd put on a new, bigger, cushy seat on my bicycle to make it so that I could ride as far as I am, because it hurts so much to ride, you know, on your backside to ride that long. And so I thought I'd do a little video and talk a little bit about bike seats or saddles. It's not like I'm an expert. I've been riding just since February 23rd of last year. It's January 10th or 9th today. Um, and 8, 9, 10, today's the 10th. So it hasn't been that long I've been riding, but I have learned a few things about seats. I did start out, I'll try to include a picture on here of my, when I started out with my mountain bike. I did have one of those big cushy seats that I had bought from Kmart because I thought I was going to have it. Just didn't think there's any way you could ride that long. But what I discovered is that you still get a sore backside even with those big saddles like that. You still get sore, and so for the first month or so, 5 miles was about all I could take before my hind end was sore, and then it was 10 miles. And with the GS, I've never gotten to where 15 miles, anything over 15 miles was comfortable. But at this point, riding my Specialized, I don't have an issue at all. So I thought I would spend a little time and show you the two different seats, and I'll try to include a picture of the last of that big saddle that I had, and just show you what they look like. All right, well, so here are the two bikes that I have, the Specialized up front, of course, and then the GS29 mountain bike in the back. The Specialized, it's not I mean, nobody who's a biker would call this a high-end bike or anything like that, but it's an expensive bike for me. It cost me about $700, and so it's in a whole different bike range than this one over here, the Genesis, that GS29 that I bought at Walmart for what, $150, $160, something like that. So let me start out. This is the original seat on this Genesis, and I want you to notice this. Now this seat is about I'm guessing 300, 400, 500 miles, something like that. But notice how it's already starting to break down. See how soft it is, and you think, okay, well that looks good, that's soft, and that'd be kind of comfortable, but it's starting to break down in some spots. You can see where there's it's cracking right into here. I'm not doing a very good job. Look at my finger and not at the camera here. You can see where it's starting to break down in some spots in there, but you'd think, well, look at that, all that give, that would be soft and it'd feel comfortable. Whereas you look at this seat here on the Genesis, and there's almost no give in that at all, nothing like that. This seat's got about 2,800 miles on it, and you can't see any kind of wear, any give on it at all. So you say, well, man, you'd think this one would be the most uncomfortable because it's the hardest, and that's, I guess I got to get to where I'm looking at here, and that's not the case at all. So the issues that have to do with whether a seat is comfortable or not have to do, number one, with this section here, and measuring it out. Make sure that your sit bones fit here, that this is wide enough for your sit bones. You need it to be wide enough for your sit bones. On the other hand, you don't want it to be so wide here that it causes any rub or friction. So you want it that's why minimalist seat is good. Wide enough here for your sit bones, and then not much up here. All right. And then this is an important thing. So what really gives the seat the cush or the soft feeling has to do with this rail right here. Not so much the cush here, but this kind of acts as a shock absorber. Now that big fat seat that I got, that it had cush up here, but it also had shock absorbers, but it was just too wide. And it had never worked for riding for a very long distance. So the issues that have to do with comfort on a seat, first of all, have to do with the sit bones, and then this material here, making sure that this is good, and it's got the right kind of give in that part. So that's the shock absorber. That's what makes it where it feels soft and where it's comfortable there. And then the distance between the seat and the handlebars relative, so it's going to have to do with how you're sitting, because you're going to want to sit. So you want to basically be, you want the right kind of posture of your body and how those sit bones are contacting. So that has to do with the distance between here and right here. Another issue that's important is making sure that the seat is flat. You don't want it tipped down or tipped back either way like that. You want it flat. So there's a couple of issues you want to work with here. Changing the length of the stem sometimes to get the right posture, and then also this seat can be moved up and down on this rail back here to give you that right kind of posture as well. But it doesn't really have to do with how soft it is up here. It has to do more with its actual position. There's the height issue, because the other thing is making sure you got the right distance from your pedals, which isn't really going to do as much for how your backside feels as it does how your legs are going to feel. But so the issues are going to be flat, width right here, not too wide, but thin here, a good rail, and then the distance between the handlebar to the seat. So that's how I understand the comfort of the seat. Those are the things that I understand have to do with how comfortable the seat is. Again, I'm not by no means an expert. I'm learning these things is what I'm trying to do. So more than happy to hear some feedback, and if there's other things that would be involved that I might be able to learn from that'll help me in my future riding, I'd appreciate it.